questions for the Jaguar XF Sportbrake's body engineer. Jason Gray, Body Program Senior Manager at Jaguar Land Rover, is as responsible as any individual for turning Jaguar's midsize XF sedan into the 2018 XF Sportbrake. We wanted to know what it takes to turn a good sedan into a wagon, so we asked. We didn't stop there. Your average citizen might think that lengthening the roof on a sedan to make a wagon is not that big an engineering deal. Is it as easy as it might seem at face value? Gray, the challenge, I think, starts with the understanding that as you are adding with the Sportbrake, you are just as importantly preserving the strengths and appeal of the XF saloon. You're adding an extra level of practicality for those that might have a more active lifestyle, or those that want to use the car more for loading up at the DIY store. But you're not serving anyone, Jaguar or its owners, if you don't keep the XF's sporting looks and dynamics. The preserving is a significant part of the project. The current XF saloon is almost a near-perfect 50-50 weight distribution, as an example, albeit a slightly forward bias. With the Sportbrake, we in number 39, V managed to maintain almost 50-50. But that slight bias is now rearward. People will judge for themselves, but the dynamic performance is really, really good. Obviously you want to minimize the weight increase. We've used a single-piece composite tailgate toward that end, and toward proper weight distribution. We've had to add extra cross braces to maintain proper structural stiffness, and package modules and a self-leveling air suspension in back. And we had to package it in a fashion to maintain what we considered a requirement, a flat, wide, level load surface. All he weight of the front seats, with 1,700 liters of load volume, 60 cubic feet. Then we had to develop the rear seat folding mechanism from scratch, with levers at the tailgate so you don't have to go in through the side doors, and maintain that clean, uninterrupted load floor. It's a lot of work, and I think we've done it well. Jaguar Special Vehicle Operations, SVO, team took a crack at the company's biggest sedan, coming up with the 2018 Jaguar 575, named for its output of 575 horsepower. That's good for a sprint. And then you're left with what is, in the eyes of various governments or regulatory agencies, an entirely different vehicle. So you have certified as such, and that can be an expensive process? Gray, yeah, absolutely. When we change the body structure, we have to go through a range of requirements, internally and externally. Internally, we have to reassess everything from NVH to dynamics and refinement. Then we have to satisfy and certify crash performance, and there are number 39, additional tests that come into play with the Sportbrake that you and number 39, T have on the saloon. For instance, there are tests where you have to load up the car with blocks of specific weight and dimension stacked on top of each other. In the sled test it has to perform and retain those blocks within the car within a certain intrusion zone, so when those blocks come and hit the backs of the seats, they're at number 39, a minimum level of intrusion into the cabin zone. There are very strict requirements you have to meet and pass, so yeah, it's very much like an entirely separate vehicle. That's a significant investment in time and engineering resources for what would seem to be a fairly small incremental increase in XF sales, certainly in the United States. Does that say something about where Jaguar is today? Gray, I can and number 39, T speak to sales projections for this car. That might be a question for marketing. I will say there has to be a business case to do it. We've identified demand and we think it will be successful, or we wouldn't make that investment. But I do think it says something about where Jaguar is going and where it wants to be. Clearly we are going in a new direction with vehicles like F-Pace, and E-Pace SUVs, and electrification, but I think the Sportbrake and Jaguar 575 clearly demonstrate that we're not neglecting our traditional core as we're focusing on the new. Tell us what you can about the engineering relationship between Jaguar Land Rover and Indian parent, Tata Motors, or any synergies that might be developing. Gray, Tata expects us to operate as our own business. They have clear expectations. They haven't suddenly brought lots of people into the company. They Haven and number 39, T come in and completely change our engineering approach. They and number 39, re not going to tell us, no, you must do it like that, because we and number 39, V got a lot of very experienced people from the design perspective and engineering perspective, and they recognize that. But at and number 39, S not just you get on with your thing, either. They've kept a very close interest in everything we do. They and number 39, re very involved, very passionate about it. Ratan Tata and the whole team at Tata have been very close to the development of all the new vehicles. From my view, we've just benefited from the support network, and I'd call it a close relationship. And over the next year, we will be investing £4 billion, $5.2 billion, into research and development. It and number 39, is just incredible. No automotive company, in terms of percentage of revenue, does as much as we and number 39, redoing at the moment. AW, will we be seeing a compact Z-State or Sportbrake? Gray, I can't answer that. I will say that I've never been in such an exciting period here, and I've been here 20 years. I think the compact E-Pace is a good example of what's in store. I think it took a lot of people by surprise, the pace at which we presented it, no pun intended. There's lots of really exciting future product plans coming up. JP Vetrano, Senior Editor-at-Large. JP Vetrano has written for Autoleak since 1990. See more by this author. Car Life, Car News, Photo, Technology, Authors, JP Vetrano, People, Family, Luxury, Other News, Sedan, Wagon, Jaguar, XF.